Okay, sorry about that. Um, I'm really happy to be bringing this game to you, just because it's such an excellent game. I will also be reviewing in short order the Star Wars Saga Edition role playing game published by Wizards of the Coast, because it's a good game too. Don't get me wrong, but I've have been in love with this game for a long, long time, and so Saga Edition, though it's good, will never ever be able to replace this game in my mind. I've just started a new campaign of the Star Wars D6 with a new group of folks, and our first session was last week, and it was just a breath of fresh air. It was so much fun. Everybody was just enjoying it and getting into the role play, and that's really what this game is all about, and why I love it so much. Because the focus is there's enough rules there to give you, a solid foundation to play, to kind of help you figure out, how to, keep the game chugging along and how to keep things fair and even. But the game is so simple in everything that it does, and it stresses the fun factor so much that players just get into it. They instinctively know what to do. They just grab a bunch of dice and they start rolling them, and then they start getting into their characters and role playing and laughing and pitching jokes in the real Star Wars fashion. And it really facilitates a very fast moving, action-y game, which any Star Wars game should be. It should be all about blasters and explosions and swooping starships and evil empires and dark Jedi with clashing lightsabers. And this game, to me, in my personal opinion, tackles it perfectly. I don't think there's any flaw that I've found with this game, other than the fact that it's out of print. It can be a little difficult to find because of that. Usually, what you'd have to do is either go on Amazon, the Amazon Marketplace, or through eBay. And for this edition of the book, you're probably gonna look at having to spend $40 to $50 if you want to get a hold of it. Sometimes you can get lucky, and there'll be people that sell them pretty cheap for 25 or $30. The original cover price of this book, if it gives you any indication, when it was released, was $30. But I find a good place to look for all of the Star Wars D6 supplements, including occasionally the core books, this version and the original second edition, which has a blue cover with Darth Vader's face on it. If you want to find these books, the best place I've found to go is used bookstores, like Half Price Books, or any of your local used bookstores, because a lot of times there will be people who have their old D6 Star Wars collections, and they will go and they will sell them off, looking to make a little cash for them. And so I have over the years have almost, well, I wouldn't say I've completed my library of Star Wars D6 books, because there are virtually over 100 supplements that they published, and not all of them are ones that I necessarily want to pick up. But I have picked up, I would say, about 20 or 30 of the Star Wars D6 supplements for less than half cover price, just because I was combing through used bookstores a lot. So, in conclusion, if you like Star Wars, and there's some people who don't, admittedly, but most people do, just because it's the kind of exciting, action-packed type of space adventure that just gets a lot of people going. This is an excellent game based on an excellent property, and it was given excellent treatment by West End Games when it was originally published. Like I said, they published dozens upon dozens of supplements and adventures for it, and it really shows. And actually, interestingly enough, because this came out pretty early, remember the original first edition printing of the Star Wars role-playing game came out in 1987, a lot before a lot of the Star Wars novels began being published, before a lot of the expanded universe was developed. This game and West End Games are responsible for creating a lot of what is now considered Star Wars canon. They established a lot of the alien species, and they established a lot of the backgrounds and developed a lot of the worlds that people are now, using as the background for the expanded universe details. A lot of the details that got plugged into the prequel trilogy movies. In fact, Timothy Zahn, when he was getting ready to write his Heir to the Empire trilogy of books, was given a whole box full of Star Wars D6 books from Lucasfilm, and said, "Read these. They're very good. When you write your novel, base it on this stuff." So excellent game, absolutely top notch. And if, like I said, if you like Star Wars, you should really get it. It's worth the money. It's worth going out and looking for. When I say worth the money, it's worth paying, about $40-45 for the core book, if you like Star Wars, and if you like role-playing games, and if you like things that keep it light, simple, and fun. And that's what this game is all about. It's about having fun and getting into this imaginary world, this imaginary galaxy of Star Wars, and just having a blast doing it. So, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to me rant on and on about this game. I love it a lot, and I think it shows. And I will, for comparative purposes, pretty shortly I will do the Star Wars Saga Edition. Like I said, it's also a good game. But I will put it up so that you can see kind of the things that I like about Saga, and then how I contrast them to D6, and what that means in terms of what I think Saga does well versus what I think D6 does well, so that you can see what might be valuable to you, and whether you think, if you're looking at getting into a Star Wars role-playing game, whether you think Saga or D6 is going to be more your territory. So, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the comments on my previous videos. I really appreciate it. And I will be back again in a little while with another review. And this one's probably going to be, like I said, Savage Worlds, and I think I'm going to do specifically Deadlands Reloaded. But I have another one in mind too that I've been goading myself into reviewing because it deserves a review really badly, and that's Kobolds Ate My Baby. So, see you guys then. Thanks.